Hi, welcome to AI Tools for Teaching and Learning. My name is Robin Kay, and I'm going to give you a brief introduction to the course. First, I'll introduce myself. I'm a professor, and I've been a professor in the Faculty of Education since Ontario Tech began. And I've taught from high school all the way up to university. And I have a number of research areas, education and technology, broadly speaking, how people learn, online and e-learning, video creation, and of course, Gen AI in education. I also do a few things outside of work, try to find some balance. So I love hiking and mountain biking, and I'm one of the few people that still do inline skating. I enjoy that. You can find me at the gym a fair bit. And occasionally, not as often as I used to, I ride my motorcycle in the country. Here are a few unique things about this course. First, and quite surprisingly, in some ways, there are no experts in Gen AI in education. Usually, when you take a course at a graduate level, there's an expertise in the professor. However, Gen AI has only been around since really 2023, and we've only really been using it. You got to at least allow for a year there. So we've had only really 3 years of Gen AI in education. And so finding expertise in Gen AI tools for teaching and learning is challenging. It doesn't mean that it's not out there. We're just not quite certain of it because we haven't done enough research. I think it's one of the most important courses. I think the tools and the skill set you'll achieve will serve you well, not only in this course, but in your working lives and outside. There's a stunning amount of areas in which Gen AI can be used. So we're going to explore, play, and learn about generative AI. I'm going to seek regular student feedback and adjust things based on your feedback. We're going to focus on authentic assessments, so projects that you want to pursue, your personal passion projects. And it's largely based on self-assessment. You're going to self-assess your work, and I'll give you feedback. I'll look at it. But I want you to focus on learning about Gen AI and how to use these tools for teaching and learning. I don't really want you to focus on grades. Let's put that anxiety aside, and I know you'll do well. In terms of course topics, I've broken it down into the first 5 courses being foundational, giving you the core set of skills that you will need, and then we'll start to focus on the Gen AI tools. We will use Gen AI tools in the first 5 weeks. However, we want to develop that foundation because Gen AI tools come and go. And so it's better to have a strong foundation with which to move forward after the course. So in the first week, we'll look at foundations, how it works, how to work with Gen AI, prompting techniques. Then we'll look at the benefits and challenges. It's best to have a balanced perspective, and I will seek that in this course, where there are definitely benefits to using Gen AI, but there's certainly challenges, and we need to be aware of that. In terms of student learning, we have to be aware of the same positive and negative effects that Gen AI could have. And we're not quite sure about that right now. So we at least need to look at what evidence there is right now and the impact of Gen AI moving forward. We also, and very critically in week 4, have to have a certain set of information literacy skills in order to produce accurate results, have some trust in the results, and move forward. If we're not critical consumers of information, that's going to be a big problem for us when using Gen AI. And finally, we'll develop this evaluation framework to evaluate Gen AI tools moving forward. And so that we go to weeks 6 to 11 and looking at tools, we'll be able to evaluate them in a systematic way. So in week 6 to 11, we're looking at typical activities for instructors. So planning and preparation, teaching and learning differentiation or personalized instruction, assessment, multimodal learning, and of course, subject specific learning, depending on areas that you're interested in. And then the final week, we'll look at professional growth because this course cannot be the ending point of your journey in learning about Gen AI in education and specifically tools for teaching and learning. I am super excited about this course and looking forward to working with you together and learning more about Gen AI.